Hi there. I wanted to do a video about Dr. Morse's Stomach and Bowels Tonic 2 because this has been really helpful with my shortness of breath issue. I developed this shortness of breath 3¼ years ago and it seemed to come from nowhere. But if I look back, I actually was developing certain symptoms like headaches, which were more like migraines, and they were every 2 or 3 days. And I just thought, I didn't think much of it. I just, obviously it wasn't nice to go through it, but I just carried on with life. I mean, when they got really bad, I couldn't work or anything, but I just didn't think anything of it. I didn't think I had control of it. I didn't realize perhaps my diet had something to do with it. I just didn't think about it. My life was so busy. I was running around, working, that kind of thing. But basically, one day I developed heartburn. That was Christmas Day, 2013. And then New Year's Day, so note that it was around the holiday season and obviously lots of eating the wrong foods and drinking alcohol. New Year's Day, I was with a friend and we were just having a conversation, and all of a sudden I tried to take a deep breath and I couldn't. And, for the first few minutes, I thought, okay, let me just go to the window. Let me just try and do something to help this situation. I didn't know what to think of it. And eventually I started to panic a bit because I thought, okay, this is not normal and it's not going away. And I used to have asthma as a child, but this was nothing like asthma. It was just the fact that I couldn't take a deep breath and my lungs just felt really, my diaphragm just felt really tight and I just couldn't expand my belly. And it was just really weird. And I had never felt anything like that before. Anyway, I'm going to cut this story really short, but went to the doctors. They couldn't find anything. Tried to tell me it was anxiety. I told them it wasn't. They tried to put me on proton pump inhibitors, such as lansoprazole and omeprazole, and they didn't help. I then did lots of tests. Apart from the only one I didn't do was the colonoscopy, but I did all the others. And the one that came back with anything was the gastroscopy, and it showed that my stomach was bleeding. And they had no explanation for that. And they asked me if I had been on anti-inflammatory medications, and I said no, which I hadn't. I hadn't been on any medications. I'd probably taken paracetamol and stuff for headaches, but that was as far as it went. Anyway, again, cutting a long story short, they had no answers for me, so I had to start researching, alternative methods, and I eventually came across some products that I tried and they were really helpful. So I'm gonna go through those products, but I wanted to talk about this stomach and bowels tonic because I knew that my stomach was inflamed, especially because that gastroscopy showed that my stomach lining was, inflamed or bleeding. So when I came across Dr. Morse's videos on YouTube, it made sense to try this particular formula because it has some soothing herbs in them, like the slippery elm and the aloe vera, the aloe, Cape aloe leaf in this one. And so I was hoping that this would soothe it, and it definitely it definitely helped. I mean, this formula also helps your system move, your bowels move more regularly. And I did notice in the last 3 years that when my system was moving more regularly, my breathing wasn't quite as bad. It was still not great, but it was not quite as bad. So it made sense to try this, and I did. And I've been on it for 5 months and it's been brilliant. I have to say though that this stomach and bowels formula did start to affect me after the first few weeks, not in a good way. My gut started to get really crampy and painful, and I figured it was this formula, so I stopped it. and I went on to the GI Broom, um, which which again was another one that really helped me with my breathing. And then I went back onto this one along with the GI Broom, and I've had no problems with that ever since. And I've been on them for 5 months now. And just as I go along, things are just improving. So until my shortness of breath has completely resolved itself, I'm going to continue on these because I think I just need to keep soothing my GI tract, you know, and that kind of thing. The other thing I wanted to mention is that the stomach and bowels formula come in different sort of strengths. So they start off at 0 for people who move too much, and then they go to 1, which has no movement, 2, which is gentle, like this one's quite a gentle one. And I am really sensitive, which is why I probably reacted. Like everything I take has to be a pinch of something, so I'd open a capsule and take that instead of doing the whole thing. But anyway, yeah, so then it goes to 3 and then 4, and then I think there's a number 5 as well. So it's really for people who are struggling, you know, maybe go once a week or 2 weeks or something. But anyway, if anyone is out there who's struggling with shortness of breath and it's not an asthma issue, please feel free to contact me. You know, it's nice to talk to somebody else who's going through the same thing as you. I felt really alone at the first couple of years because I hadn't met anybody who was struggling with the shortness of breath in the way that I was. And yeah, and everything changes when you do sort of meet somebody else who's going through the same thing, because then there's an extra brain to kind of do some research and to do some testing on some products, you know. And I've met now about 4 or 5 different people, and it's funny that the same products seem to be helping us, you know. So anyway, just something that might be useful for somebody out there. The next video I'll do is probably about the GI Broom, because that one really helped me as well. In fact, it probably helped me more than this one, but I still love this one. So but they're different anyway. So yeah, that will be my next video, and I really hope this helps somebody. So see you on the next one. Thanks, bye.